He was born on October 11 of 1424 in Krakow, the blooming capital of the Kingdom of Poland. He was son to Władysław II Jagiellon, King of Poland and Supreme Duke of Lithuania, and Sophia of Hradčany. Due to his hereditary rights, he became the monarch with the vastest realm in all Europe, as he inherited Poland and Lithuania from his father and eventually became King of Hungary. His father, who massively strengthened Poland by defeating the Teutonic Knights, died in 1434 at 72 years of age, leaving an infant, Władysław, in charge of his massive domain. In Poland, Władysław was assisted by a regency led by the Bishop of Krakow, Zbigniew Olesnicki. This regency ended in 1438 with the 14th birthday of the king. On the other hand, Lithuania was governed in an autonomous fashion by her own Grand Duke. This was fruit of an agreement between King Władysław II and the Lithuanian elites. The Grand Duke of Lithuania happened to be Sigismund Kęstutis, a staunch anti-Polish who sought to liberate Lithuania from her union with Poland. In 1440, thought Sigismund was assassinated by his political rivals, and Casimir, Władysław's only brother, was proclaimed Grand Duke by the Lithuanian nobility in Vilnius. Being that so, the young king had a bright future upon him, but his situation would change significantly in this same year. Albert II of the Holy Roman Empire, King of the Romans, Hungary, Bohemia and Archduke of Austria, died in 1439, with his only son being still unborn. Albert's Rome, the vastest of his time, thus fragmented. The nobles of the Kingdom of Hungary saw that there was not a rightful claimant to the throne of the Magyars, so they elected the neighboring Władysław III of Poland as monarch. The king arrived at Buda, Hungary's capital, in the beginning of 1440, but soon Albert II's successor, Ladislaw, called the Posthumous, was born. Elizabeth of Luxembourg, mother of Ladislaw, wrote the crown of Saint Stephen, Hungary's royal crown, and fled to Székesfehérvár in order to crown his son, who took the name of Ladislaw V. They then fled to Austria, where Frederick III, newly elected Holy Roman Emperor, offered them protection. Władysław III forced the Hungarian nobility to crown him with a provisional crown. This left Hungary with two crowned kings, a situation that later developed into a civil war that would last until 1442, with Władysław triumphant. It was at this conflict that the military career of Shun Hunyadi started, in this case as loyalist of Władysław. After the Hungarian Civil War, Władysław, accompanied by his champion John Hunyadi, started looking towards the Balkans, where the Ottoman Empire stood strong after conquering vast amounts of land from the Romans and the Bulgarians. In 1443, Pope Eugenius IV proclaimed a crusade against Murad II, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. A Christian coalition then formed, which was led by Władysław III and includes several Christian states: Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, Croatia, Wallachia, Moldavia, Serbia, Bohemia and the Papal State. Władysław and John Hunyadi led a mighty host of 40,000 men that achieved important victories against the Ottomans in the Balkans. Important cities like Sofia and Nice were taken. After these initial triumphs, the Crusaders marched towards Edirne, the Ottoman capital, but they faced their enemy in the Battle of Zlatitsa, in which they were defeated, despite being more numerous due to the unfavorable terrain that the Turks successfully used to their profit. The Crusaders then retreated to Hungary, and in their way home they defeated an Ottoman army in Kunovica. Despite the defeat, the Crusaders were received in Buda as heroes. In 1444, both parties looked forward to peace. Władysław negotiated with Murad, but at the same time he promised a new campaign against the Turks in the summer of that year. The Peace of Zegd was ratified on August 15 of 1444, ending the hostilities. The Christians, though, broke the treaty and attacked the Ottomans again. On November 10 of 1444, the Crusaders faced the Ottomans in Varna in what would be the final battle of the war. The Christians, led again by Władysław and Hunyadi, were widely outnumbered, but the battle, after a thought start, was growing in their favor. Eventually, John Hunyadi, who was next to the king in the core of their army, decided to go to a flank in order to defeat the Ottoman cavalry, which he accomplished. Murat II started fleeing the field of battle, and when Władysław saw this, he charged towards him with his elite force of Polish knights, disobeying Hunyadi's advice. The king wanted to make Murat II his prisoner, but when he was approaching the fleeing sultan, the Janissaries surrounded his forces. He died in a final charge, after which his elite men, now demoralized, were massacred. Hunyadi tried to recover Władysław's remains, but he was unsuccessful and ordered an organized retreat. The Ottomans didn't pursue the Christians, for they had suffered enormous casualties and were exhausted. Władysław was 20 years old when he died. His body was decapitated and was brought to the Ottoman court in Edirne. The final destiny of his remains is unknown. His death left uncertainty in what was Europe's largest realm at the time, leaving Poland and Hungary kingless. John Hunyadi would assume command of Hungary as a regent of Władysław V, thought the premature death of the king permitted him to rule by his own right. In Poland, the nobility elected Władysław's brother Casimir, Grand Duke of Lithuania, as a king, securing the ties between the two entities, which would eventually merge in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Hey, do not close the video yet. Before you go, please subscribe and leave us a like if you like the content. It would help us to grow and continue making much more content. Now, without further ado, we say goodbye.